Right folks, there's hot off the press, and then there's this. This is the brand new Mirka Deros 2 random orbital sander, and a little departure for the channel. This video is going to be all about unboxing it and my initial impressions. Can't wait. Alright folks, hello again, welcome back to my channel, and before I pop open this sustainer case and start talking exclusively about the brand new Mirka Deros 2 random orbit sander, please allow me to give you a little bit of a history lesson from the channel about sanding and sanders and how I eventually ended up purchasing this model. Well, the random orbit sander was the first premium power tool that I upgraded to from my budget stuff, and in May 2019, yeah, nearly 5 years ago, I purchased the original Mirka Deros at Makers Central. So why the random orbit sander as my first premium upgrade? Well, if you are new to the channel or you've just parachuted in to learn a little bit more about the Deros 2, then welcome to you. But just to give you a little bit of background, I only have one functioning arm and hand, and I found that with any of the budget sanders, it was burning out my good arm really quickly, and I couldn't cope with the vibration, and also found them very noisy as well. So when I tested out the original Mirka Deros, I was like, wow, this is a fantastic piece of kit. And if you've been following the channel for a little while, you will know about my adventures with the original Mirka Deros, which subsequently led to me purchasing this, the Festool ETS-EC 155mm, and this has been my go-to sander for the last 3, nearly 4 years. But I'm going to be moving away from this sander for one, maybe two reasons that I'll deal with a little bit later on. Now, I did do a comparison between the ETS-EC and the original Mirka Deros, and they're both fantastic sanders, and I think it boils down to personal preference at the end of the day. How they feel in your hand, everyday usage, that kind of thing. And between the two, my preference was for the original Deros, but I did have some issues with the reliability on it, which meant I switched over to the Festool. But when I heard that Mirka were releasing the Deros 2, I simply had to get my hand on it, and I've been really excited to try this out. Now, just to be clear, in terms of transparency, I have bought and paid for this with my own money, but Mirka very kindly offered me a discount. But I'm not sponsored or paid by Mirka to produce this video, so my thoughts, feelings and opinions on it are strictly my own. Now, I think that's enough chit chat. Let's get the sustainer box open and see what we've got inside. So when we open up the distinctive yellow sustainer case, we obviously have the sander that comes with a 150mm and 125mm pad, giving a 5mm orbit. If you're used to Mirka products, you would recognise the distinctive kettle style lead, and you also get a selection of Abranet discs, both in 125 and 150mm sizes. You also get the instruction manual and a QR code, which makes it really easy to activate your warranty. The Deros weighs in at just under 1.1 kilograms, and if you want a reference against another premium sander, then the Festool ETS-EC 150 weighs in at just under 1.3 kilos. In regards to the ergonomic profile, so the distance from the workpiece to the top of the sander when the paddle's depressed is around 9.5 centimeters, just shy of 4 inches. The flappy paddle can be used to control the power of the sander, but if you don't like that feature, all you need to do is push the plus and minus button together, and when you depress the paddle, it goes from 0 to your chosen RPM. So when I posted my Pulp Fiction style launch video to my social media and in the Woodworkers UK forum on Facebook, I did ask if anybody had any specific questions about the new model to get in touch, and if I could incorporate them into this video, then I would. Well, Charlie Pickering got in touch almost straight away and said, Leo, what's the differences between the original Mirka Deros and the Deros 2? Well, Charlie, firstly, I can tell you it's got a new brushless motor installed, which is more powerful, taking it from 350 watts to 400 watts, which gives you from 4,000 to 10,000 RPM. It has new LED indicators just below the master on-off switch and above the plus and minus, which gives you better visuals to show the tool speed. It does have enhanced Bluetooth connectivity, and I do have the My Mirka app on my phone, but for me, in this kind of environment, a one-man band, monitoring vibration levels and the amount of time I'm using it, isn't particularly applicable to myself because my arm tells me when it's time to have a rest. But imagine maybe in an industrial setting where employers have got to be looking after their employees, then maybe they do need to be monitoring things like the amount of time people are using the equipment and also the vibration levels within the tool itself. Finally, it has an enhanced vibration reduction system, which kind of ties in neatly to the beginning of the end of this video. How have I found it and what's it like to use? Well, as I did say at the beginning and in the title, this is an unboxing and first impressions, and I've been running this now for a couple of hours over a variety of different hardwoods. Where am I at with it? Well, here we go. It's not only just met my expectations, it's exceeded them. It is a incredible sander to use. I don't feel any fatigue going up my arm. There's definitely something in this vibration reduction system that's working very well. I really liked using the original Deros, you know, and I found that I could use that for long periods of time without getting tired. But this seems to be, in my initial impressions, a bit next level. All right, I'm really looking forward to properly putting it through its paces, and I'll come back to you in the next 6 to 12 months. You know, I'll do one at 6 months and I'll do one at 12 months as a long-term test review. But my initial impressions are extremely favorable. Going back to the ETS-EC and the decisions why I'm moving away from this, firstly, I suppose, is a little bit of a financial one in regards to, I've had that for over 3 years now, so it's out of its warranty period. But I've also done a little bit of research on the price of tools recently, and the cost of premium tools has skyrocketed, I'm sure, as we all know. And certainly the cost of this sander is, that which means that the second-hand residuals have remained very high. So in this strange, quirky world that we're in at the moment, I could probably sell this for the same money that I purchased it for over 3 years ago, even though it's out of warranty. But it's a little bit more than that. It's a more of a usage thing why I'm deciding to step away from it. And I hinted at it earlier on in this video. It's that extra weight. Now, 200 grams might not sound like a lot, but when you're doing the amount of sanding that I am, it does take its toll in the long term in terms of fatigue on my arm, and with me not having the luxury of being able to swap between hands while sanding, it does stall things when I have to stop, take a rest my arm up and return to it, particularly in vertical sanding. And when I pick the two up between them now, it feels more than 200 grams, and I'm sure if you had these two in a shop and you picked them up yourselves, you would certainly go, that feels quite a bit heavier than that one does. And I have quite a lot of vertical sanding to do. I've got a big project coming up which is going to be several hours of doing that, and this will certainly allow me to complete that task in a shorter period of time because I won't have to rest as much because it's lighter, and it feels like the vibration, in my initial impressions, it feels like the vibration is less in this than it is in this. And again, as I said before, they're both excellent sanders. You are paying right at the top of the premium power tool price for these, and so they should be. If you're thinking between one and the two, this isn't a comparison video. If you're interested in something, me doing one of those, then please let me know in the comments and I can consider that for future content. But it is a personal preference thing. Some people aren't fans of the flappy paddle, but there is a third party, my friend Stu Parker Wood Creations. He has created kind of like a latch that goes onto that, and I'll leave a link to Stu's website in the description if you're thinking of maybe looking at something along those lines. But there are fine margins between them, and I think it does become a personal preference thing, whether this feels better to you in the hand or this one. God, that weight difference, you can feel it between the two. But this is now going to be my go-to sander, and I'm looking forward to doing a long-term reflection on the channel with you. And if you, again, like I said in my social media when I've done the launch, if there's any specific questions you'd like to ask, then obviously the comment section's there, my social media's there, all my contact details are in the description. If you like this video, and it's very rarely that I say this, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel if you like this kind of content. And I think I'll leave it at that one, folks. So I've waffled towards the end, but hopefully it is productive waffle. productive waffle, that you might have found some of it interesting. So as ever, take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.